Hello, all of my role-playing peeps. This is +4 initiative bonus for roll for initiative, and I'm here with another DMing tip. It's a very simple tip. Too much story, too much planning is bad. Okay, so what I mean by that is this. If you have, as a DM, have sat and done every NPC, done every foot of a wilderness trek, of every tile of a dungeon, and put a great, tremendous amount of work into this adventure. And then it's come game time, and your players don't take the hook, and they decide to go this way instead of that way. And then you have absolutely no idea what to do. So you force this adventure that you created on to your players. Maybe your players don't want to go save the princess. Maybe, they got a tip off about kobolds being mean, like next village over. So they decide to go do that instead of do your well-crafted, plotted out plan and adventure. So, too much planning and too much development can be bad. So essentially what I like to do as a DM is I like to, when I know where my game is going to start, and I know where my game is going to end. That is the overall plot, overall campaign from point A to point B. Well, point A and point Z. I know what those 2 points are. I know what town they're going to be in. I know that town backwards and forwards. And then I know, the big bad evil guy's final dungeon of death, or whatever you want to call it, or wherever you want to end it. I know that location. And all the points in between, the players, ultimately what it boils down to. It's my world, but it's your story. Okay? And how you get from point A to point Z is the player's responsibility, not yours as a DM. Okay? Your goal, your point as a DM, now here's another thing. The players are not the main characters of your world. Okay? So many DMs, so many of them fall into this specific thing, that their players are the number one adventuring group in the land, in the world, in this whole material plane. They are the number ones. Well, the problem with that is there's more than just your 5 players. Okay? There's more than just a fighter, a barbarian, a wizard, a cleric, and a warlock. And that's it. There's more out there. Okay? So, what you do is you develop mini plots. Say, for instance, this town that they're in. Say they're in a town called Mindale. Okay? This is actually coming from a DMing venture that I'm getting ready to actually be part of, where I'm actually co-DMing a game with, he's a newer DM, and I'm going to be helping and things of that nature. So, I got the responsibility of actually being the first one DM. We're going to bounce back and forth. I'm going to make a character, he's going to make a character, but when I'm DMing, I'm not playing the character. I'm a firm believer in that. If you're a DM and you are DMing, you should not have a character. You're everything else. But if you're a DM and you're not DMing, then it's okay to have a character. Okay? So, I'm going to create a character. He's going to create a character. And when I'm DMing, I'm not playing. And when he's DMing, he's not playing, but I am. Okay? Take, for instance, we have this dwarven mining town called Mindale. They mine iron. That's their main export. There's a big mine not too far from the town, and that's where the majority of these people are, well, what they are. It's 80% dwarf, 20% everything else. Just in the player's handbook, though. So no Goliaths or, Tabaxi or anything like that. So just stuff from the main player's handbook. And in this little hamlet or village that I've created, I have went through and created 5 different specific adventuring hooks for the group. There's a kobold one. There is one with corruption in the mine. There is one with undead under the town, and there's some iffy crap going on there. There's one with the children are being kidnapped for some reason. Specifically, it's just female children, girl children. And lastly, there's something going on with the mayor. He's not as been inclusive in the town. Nobody's seen him for the past 2 or 3 months. Why is that? And what you do is, that's the main thing that you should do, is you should drop in 5 or 6 plots to start with for your game. Don't just have the one. Okay, that's what a lot of DMs fall into. They have that one plot, they have that one adventure, and they cram it down their players' gullets. Okay? And even if the players take the hook, the DM thinks that there's only one way to do it. So they create this monorail, if you will, of an adventure. It happens. I've done it before, but you can't do that. You cannot monorail your games, because what happens is they become boring. They become predictable. They become it don't make for a fun adventure. It makes for, all right, I'm on my phone, not really listening. Just tell me when it's my turn to swing my battle axe. You don't want that at all. You do not want that. But unfortunately, sometimes, even in interesting adventure, you still have that one player that's like that. But what you should do when crafting a proper adventure is you should have a beginning and an end. You should know where the adventure is going to start. You should know where the adventure is going to end. How the players get from point A to point B is up to them. Okay? What you do is you sprinkle in some nice nifty little information and NPCs and things like that, and you allow your players to role play. That is the thing. Okay? Role play. We play a role-playing game, especially Dungeons and Dragons, Mutants and Masterminds, Feng Shui, whatever, All Flesh Must Be Eaten. All these, they're role-playing games. You play a role. Okay? You are Targath, the Destroyer. You're a barbarian half-orc. Then play Targath, the Destroyer. Play that character. Give that character a personality. Okay? And allow the players to weave their own story. If you allow your players to just create their own story, you provide them with the means to create a story. That is what a DM does. Okay? And if you slap your players in a box and then put it on a rail and then push it to the end, that's not really allowing your players to develop. It's not. And it's not about how cool and awesome that the DM thinks it is. No, it's about the players. Okay? The player, if you leave a group of adventurers alone and drop them into a town, they will cause mischief and trouble. They're all on their own. You can go into a game not knowing what you're going to do. You don't have an adventure created at all. Sometimes those are the best and funnest. I don't know if funnest is the funnest word. I don't know. Anyway, a more fun game. But it's allowing them to do that. And I do that more often than what my players think. And I just allow them to create, and I react to them. Okay? And it's not, and here's the thing about a DM. Here's the thing about DMing. If the players think they have figured it out, even if that is the true outcome, if you think it's going to make for a better story, change it. Change it mid-adventure. Now, don't change it to the point to where it's blatantly obvious that you've changed it. But if the players think that this is the villain, it's the villain. It's the villain. This dude we've dealt with. This is the dude that's doing it. And they get there and they find the dude dead. And the players are like, what? He was supposed to be the guy that do it. And no, it was, his daughter the whole time. And here's the big reason why. You see, being a DM, you got to be a little bit of a scene chewer. You got to be able to present it to the players. You got to be able to elaborate. You got to be able to make your players laugh about something dumb that just happened or something that's cool that just happened. You got to learn to react. Don't be a monorail adventurer creator. Okay, monorailing a game is bad. Now, don't get me wrong. There's no problem in having proper structure to an adventurer, to an adventure. Okay, players do this, which leads them to this area. Where in this area they're going to find something else. They find that thing, and that takes them to this area. There's a monster they got to fight. They fight that monster and they get another thing or another piece of information. So they got to go over here. That's how an adventure works. Adventure isn't just one area and then that's it. Which it can be. It can be. But you got to give your player, you got to keep wanting your players to come back. You got to craft mystery. You've got to craft things. Now, here's another thing. Like I said at the beginning of this video, what I've done is I've created the mine, the Mindale, which is the town. I've created 5 different adventures. All right? Well, here's the thing. I'm not going to allow my players to do all 5. Okay? Out of the 5, the players are basically going to be responsible for 2 to 3 of them before they decide to move on. As basically, it's going to get them from level 1 to level 4 or 5, basically. Now, here's the thing. They decide to go hunt down the kobolds. While they're done with the kobolds, while they're doing the kobold thing, they realize that somebody has they've been an undead. They come back, there's been an undead attack. Why was there an undead attack? What happened? And they start looking into that. While they're doing that, somebody else deals with why the mayor has not been out, where he's at, kind of thing. What I'm trying to do is the world is alive, and there's more than just your 5 players in the world. What I mean is sometimes I like to do this. The players I like to do the shotgun effect when it comes to plot hooks. So boom, shoot a bunch of plot hooks out, and whoever grabs them. I like to make the plots get worse, more dangerous. Okay? Say they decide to ignore the kobold one, and they decide to go and do the undead thing. So they do the undead thing first. The kobold thing might get a little more dangerous, which means the kobolds might be a little more strong. They might be more of them. The traps might be a little more deadly. Things of that nature. And basically what that does is that represents the players going and doing this when they're higher level. They're more battle hardened, or whatever you want to call it. That's what this is. Now, you should not create an adventure and just leave it. So the players come back to it and they just steamroll it. No. I don't believe in letting the players just steamroll an adventure unless that is the adventure you're crafting is to be steamrolled, which can be used to greater effect to influence another plot down the road. But all your plots, all of this monorailing and specific things. And don't get me wrong, it's okay to have a specific thing. Like there is only one way to destroy the undead necromancer that is trying to devour the town. There's only one specific thing to actually defeat him. That's okay, all right? Unless the players come up with something that is this happens all the time. Sometimes a player or players will come up with a plan, or they will come up with an idea on how to fix a situation that's better than what I've got prepared. So you know what I do? That works. They work it. They do it. Because it's more it's better than what I have prepared on how to defeat the creature or defeat the situation. So I just don't say no. I say, all right, and I actually reward bonus XP. You can always tell in my games if the players have done something that I didn't expect, that I thought was cool, and it fixed the situation or developed a funny situation or sparked information that the players shouldn't have got yet, but the way that they've done it, they actually got it. At the end of the night, I will always reward the players with a little bit extra XP or a little more power points if you're mutants and masterminds or something like that. What I like to do, though, is I like to say, like, for instance, mutants and masterminds. Usually mutants and masterminds, when you complete a game, you usually get anywhere between 2 to 5 power points, or XP, if you want to call it whatever, power points for them, but XP is usually 2 to 5 points is usually what you get at the end of the night. So what I usually like to do, especially if the players have found something that I thought, or figured out something that I thought was very interesting or funny or just some extremely good role play, and they figured out some information or something like that, I'll give out, say, 3 points is usually what I do on a basic game. I usually say 3 points. But if they've done something funny or something like that, I usually say, all right, I've got 3 more points that can be divided or given all to one player. Let the group decide who gets it. So, which happens when you usually can tell that there's something that I thought was fun and I want to reward the players for it. I do it at the end of the game, be like, especially in D&D, I'd be like, well, that was pretty cool. I'll give 50 XP or 100 XP to everybody, just because I thought it was funny or very interesting or something along those lines. But we're sitting at about 17 and a half minutes right now, and I could talk about this for probably 40, 50 minutes about monorailing, about adventurers, and about being basically a one-trick pony adventure. Nobody likes a one-trick pony adventure unless the players know that this is what this is. This is a one-trick pony adventure, okay? You shouldn't let your players think it's something else when it's not, okay? So we're going to end right there. We're sitting here at 18 minutes. So I hope this helps everyone. If you have any questions or any comments or anything like that, like that you want me to, things that you want me to speak about or talk about, leave them in the comments below, and I'll take a look at them, and we'll see what we can come up with. Now, if you're watching this on YouTube, please like and subscribe, hit the little bell down in the corner, so you'll know when I do a new video. You'll get a message saying that, hey, I've done Plus Word Initiative has done a new video. Now, to get to my YouTube page, it is +4, all one word, plus PLUS, and then the number 4, space, initiative bonus, all one word. Okay? So there's space between that. Okay? And that's, if you're on Facebook, that's how you're going to find me over on YouTube. Okay? Now, if you're on Facebook, make sure you like and you share this so everybody else can see how awesome and great I am. But anyway, I'm going to leave you right there. I'm going to leave you with this. Just know that I am a DM, but I'm also a player, and I'm here for you.